Alright folks, we're back and we're still doing our graveyard walk. Getting my exercise today, and luckily it stopped raining, so that's a good thing. Another thing I want to talk about here too, for those who are interested, is if you're at a graveyard and you see obvious garbage on the ground and you have protective gear on, you know, like gloves, or I've got a bunch of hand sanitizer and junk in the car. A really good way to develop a good relationship with that graveyard, believe it or not, is picking up actual trash. Now, as far as things like something like this, that is not trash. That is an offering. You leave that alone, okay? I mean, if it's like soda cans or just something that just doesn't fit with the whole graveyard scene, pick that up. You know, if you want to. I'm just giving friendly advice to those who want to learn more and want to do more spirit work and might be a little afraid of the process. But the more you give to, I've already given that way, the more you give to a graveyard, the more you usually get back. And this works with every other spirit contract, entity, god, guardian angel, flying spaghetti monster, whatever you want to call it. It works with every single instance where you give, and if you're not getting back, you're in a bad relationship with that spirit. But most of the time, I found that spirits they can be helpful. Sometimes their idea of help isn't our idea of help, for sure. When I was 21, this is a trigger warning. If miscarriages bother you, don't listen to the rest of this. But I had a miscarriage. It wasn't my proudest moment. For me, it was a good thing because I would have been saddled to an abusive jerk for the rest of my life, and that wouldn't have been good. And I got very depressed. I was in a very bad place. There's actually a couple of weird noises following me right now, but that's cool. That's what I asked for, so it's all good. And I went over to this graveyard that was across the street from the Walmart I worked, and I realized that it was in a state of, like, really bad decay. I mean, there was a trailer park behind it, and they were just throwing garbage everywhere. And I was scared out of my gourd. I had never really spent that much time in graveyards other than running around like a stupid teenager in Florida at graveyards. I mean, we didn't vandalize, but, like, you know, giggling and hee. So, I came up to this grave of this little girl named Emily. Funny thing is that Emily is one of those names that follow me around. People have called me Emily before. I don't know if it was a past life name or whatever. Oh, hello, Margaret. Would you like some cantaloupe? There you go. But I started taking care of Emily's grave. She had an old leather lamb, and this grave was ancient. I don't remember exactly what year she was, but the lamb had basically turned into mineralized stone, even though it originally was leather. That's how old that... I'm getting more stuff. I don't want to leave my garbage in the graveyard. That's bad. But somehow this lamb had turned into rock, partially. So I started taking care of Emily's grave, and I got the urge to take care of other graves that were in the area. And all of a sudden, and this graveyard was behind a church too, I wasn't the only one taking care of this graveyard. And not only that, I started feeling better and more healed about my miscarriage, because at that time, gosh, this was a long time ago, you didn't really get anything after the miscarriage. There wasn't a body to bury. There was nothing left. So that provided a form of closure for me. And again, I wasn't going in there to hurt anybody. I wasn't going, and I think spirits know that. They're watching. They got nothing but time. So it's good to, I think it's good to do things, services like that for the dying, things like this. You don't have to do it every day, but you know, you get a bonus or something. One time when I was taking care of this graveyard, no joke, I was super poor and super hungry, and I was riding on what we call affectionately in Sarasota County the Scadillac, which is a Sarasota County area transit bus. And I just said out loud to my boyfriend at the time, I said, if I had $20 right now, I would put a flower on every single grave in that cemetery and buy a Subway sandwich. And he laughed at me. And got off that bus, and right there in the median of US 41 in Osprey, Florida, which is really close to Sarasota, there was $20. So they also had a sale on flowers that day at Walmart. So that's your sign right there. If you need a sign, that spirit is calling to you to perform a service, that's it. Oh, look at that. They got it. That's cool. They got a bench. Okay, if this is me, I want an altar like this or one with a mirror and some shells. So just documenting that for future reference. So, I'll finish this up and then I'll start another video.